What is the most ruthless revenge you've gotten on an ex? Back in 2019, I had just moved my long-term partner into my house due to a series of poor life choices on his end. It had been a rocky relationship for most of its duration, but I was young and dumb. I believed this was him wanting to commit and truly start our lives. By early 2020, we were engaged. I was a full-time university student, sole caretaker for my mentally disabled mother, and taking care of the house and our pets. He worked a standard 40-hour-a-week, minimum wage job and refused to help with any aspect of life. I found out on Christmas Day 2020 he had been unfaithful and had forgotten to tell me. He was planning on leaving me but had informed everyone except for me because he was failing to secure a new residence. At this point, there was very little love lost and I expected he would be moving out within the coming weeks. Fast forward 3 entire months and his search for a living place was non-existent and he was acting more and more entitled. Clearly by this point, he was an unwelcome freeloader who had taken up residence in my living room. I was about to secure an eviction notice to get him off my couch. He began swiping Tinder with his phone volume loudly on. I told him to not do that in my presence as it was highly insensitive to do in my home and he could do it in private. This continued, so I told him I would sleep with one of his friends. It was said in a moment of anger and was more of an empty threat at the time, but it planted a seed. A few days later, I messaged the guy who was supposedly my ex's best friend and the best man for our called-off wedding. It turns out he didn't even consider my ex a close friend and my ex had acted similarly terrible to this guy previously as well. We bonded over our terrible experience and hit it off really well in general. I was upfront about what the catalyst for me to reach out to him was. After 2 years of dating, we were married April 2nd. He watched me graduate with that bachelor's degree my ex disliked. I'm halfway through my master's, and my husband works in a specialized study field that supports us. Last I heard, my ex got kicked out of his dad's house, never was able to officially date his side chick, and has not made any choices to better his life.